Okay, here we are back again in the Empire of the Grey Knights, Mittenron, in the region of Wiltshire at the city of Coltran. I have in fact settled on Coltran as a name for reasons of consistency amongst the completely made up language that I use to name these things, but there you go. Perhaps not as not helpful considering all of the streaming and all of the YouTube videos I've posted have the word Coltran with the L in. There you go. That's what you get for messing around with naming things. Anyway, so I think I've done a little bit since the last time I was streaming. It's quite a lot of builds have gone up. Let me turn off the rain. So yeah, I think all of this has gone up. It may have existed as floor plans in the last stream. I may have been complaining about not being able to come up with a suitable design pattern for the wall. I'm not happy with it still, but I'm kind of settled on it. I just need to stop being lazy and actually change the rest of the wall to match it now. My plan at the moment then is to carry on, obviously this way. This is some sort of tavern, hill fort. So yeah, that needs to come on. The statue needs to be finished. This is my horse, or one of my horses. Oops. I have a couple of horses, I think, somewhere around on the Empire. I'm not sure. This one, as you can see, is called Corfu. I have no idea why. That's just his name. So, yeah, some of these buildings, this is an industrial section, so these buildings are meant to have that kind of vibe. This is actually part of a mining facility. We built this to provide access to some tunnel down below. Around about here, obviously. I go down several flights, in fact, before giving up on it. Around about here. My intention wouldn't have been to take this all the way down, because there's always the chance at some point in the future I will come back here in actually in survival mode and explore these tunnels and actually use not necessarily all of this, but use some of the facilities that have been here as a means to, you know, springboard off of. So I guess what I'm saying in a way is that this entire city is glorified survival mode base for me to use at some point in the future, possibly. I have done that. Not quite to this extent, I'll give you, but there have been some of the places I built I have actually used. So anyway, yeah, let's not be lazy. Let's get rid of this. I think I'm not sure. I'm ignoring. I may change the style here. Let's see. As you can see, I've fiddled with this. I've fiddled with this a lot. In one of the videos I did actually stream, I was constantly tweaking, and that wasn't even the first session. I'd already done some fiddling beforehand. But yeah, so. I meant to carry the wall along the whole way, but for some reason I just decided I was going to use parts of the building, which is usually what I do. I don't normally put up a proper wall between two sections of two districts. This gap is intentional. I wanted to film give it a little bit more of a nook and cranny feel that can be missing sometimes, or feel very forced. So there is a lot of side bits in this region, in this particular district anyway. But yeah, so a couple of, I'm not sure what these are. I think these are just like crafting areas. These are forges and stuff, places where you take materials and something is made, even if I'm not entirely sure on what. Where am I going? Running in freaking circles. Am I making anybody dizzy? Oh, that's not right. Yeah, okay, that's better. It's very. This has been one of the hardest parts of fiddling with the wall. It's trying to make it look red, but you can't just do the solid brick wall. It just doesn't look right. I've spent far too long on it. Partly why I'm hating the fact that I'm actually doing this now. I really want to move on. I said that like there's somebody stopping me. It's my freaking build. I can go wherever the hell I want to. Sod it. That's enough of that crap. So the next thing then is obviously this my little build here, my pseudo tavern, I suppose. Part of me wants to just do it in the same style as these buildings, but I feel like that's a little bit overkill. I need a variation. I'm just not sure what. I want to do the fort like these two, and I just don't want to have the whole area look the same, which is, you know, a problem I kind of have with other places too, but I'm going to need to use something. I need it to be red, I just need it not to, something. Suck? Probably the safe bet. I suppose I can change it up a little bit with, let's try colors. I suppose, I think maybe the, I haven't actually loaded up a 1.12 version of the game yet. Some of the previous snapshots, like the big updates, I have actually played while they were still being tested. I haven't done it with this one because it didn't really feel like they added enough to justify starting a new game. But it would be nice to maybe take a direct look at some of these new blocks are going to look like, the patterns and stuff, because they may prove useful. Because, you know, I build around the theme. The stone bricks, the grey stone bricks, make up the core of the builds that I do. But I tried to build and work around it, give it some new twist and stuff to make it look more interesting. I recently put up a video of some of the builds of the Northern Empire, the main builds of the Northern Empire, and the main piece from the northern region, not including the actual northern city, is a city in itself, which is just a really large build. In fact, part of it is almost continuously one building, and I was just looking at it, and aside from the fact that there are no windows in place, it's all grey stone. Now I did this on purpose. At the time, I was like, this is supposed to be an older building, so we're going back to the early days of the Empire. It made sense for me to do it in the old style, where I started with just purely grey stone buildings. But just seeing it like that, I was like, God, this looks awful. Not this, what I was talking about. So yeah, the Port Norway, or Norwayman, as I relabeled it, because that's more in keeping with the naming policy. But yeah, it's, I don't know, I feel like something's going to be done with this building. God only knows what. Anyway, let's focus on the present. Don't worry about going back to older builds that need tweaking some other day. The red clay's not working. Let us try. Or let me try. Like you're going to be doing anything. I don't know. It's not too bad, right? I'm using far too many block types. I mean, I know I like to try and change the appearance of some of the buildings, but I like to keep it simple too. I mean, the northern city, the main northern city, is just a mess of wood colors that I, you know, like using 3 or 4 different wood types just to make a single wall. It's like, that's just crazy. I like that. It's working for me.